here's the thing. I am going to try to make an apple pie that only will be about 2 grams of sugar. I need one that will be very low sugar content. So I'm going to try something new today that I've never done and see what happens. It may turn out very, very well. It's the individual apple pies. These is what I'm going to try today and see how it works. Just separating some stuff out here, and whenever I cored this apple earlier, it had a few seeds on it. Anyway, okay, so we're gonna try sugar substitute. I think that would probably be bad. So about a half a cup of the sugar substitute, maybe. Maybe I should have. Anyway, we'll see. Okay, so half a cup of that. And then, let's see, let's try, I think I'm going to do about a quarter cup of cinnamon or teaspoon of cinnamon. And I'll probably put a little bit of vanilla in there. Then I'll just mix it up and let it set. And then I'm going to make some biscuits. But on the biscuits, I'm gonna make them. Let's see. Let's do a little bit more on the cinnamon. Then let's do about a teaspoon of cinnamon. Okay. So now on the biscuits, I'm going to use this. It's a keto-friendly flour mix. I've never used this before. I'm going to use it and try to make my regular biscuits, but with this. So then it says on here the total sugars are 2 grams. It does have 11 carbs, but it has 8 dietary fibers, which cancels out some of those carbs. Anyway, this is what I'm working on this morning to see if I can make a sugar-free option on the apple pies. Hopefully it will work out. Oh, okay, about a teaspoon of vanilla. It's gonna be very vanilla-y. Okay, gotcha. Normally I would use brown sugar, but I need the sugar-free option, so we're going with this. Gonna let this set. And then I'll start on my biscuits. Okay, so I'm using about 2 cups of that keto-friendly flour. I'm going to use, let's see, about a teaspoon of baking soda, and I'm going to use about a teaspoon of baking powder. I'm going to cut my butter in, and I'm going to use 1.5 sticks of butter. I'm going to try 1 stick to begin with. We'll see how that works out. And when I do my butter into any flour like this, I'm trying to get as small of pieces as I can. I don't want real large pieces of butter. You could probably do this into a food processor, but I just use this tool and just cut it in. It works fairly well. The trick, I think, is having the butter really cold when working with it. But anyway, that seems well. So let's see. The next thing I will do is add 1 egg to begin with. I'll probably go ahead and do 2 eggs. I want this mixture to rise, and this is essentially almond flour, and it looks like almond flour, coconut flour, flaxseed. It does have xanthan gum in it, which is a good thing, but it really doesn't really have a rising agent in it. So anyway, I'm going to do 2 eggs. Mix that in, and then I'm going to add some buttermilk just until it's like basically just wet enough. Not really, I don't want it, I want it just barely tacky. So just like my regular biscuits. So some buttermilk. I basically just want it wet, a little bit tacky. I think this is looking really good. And then I will put it in the refrigerator for about 30 minutes and let it really firm up real well. And then see if we can't work with this dough. Maybe a little bit more buttermilk. Just a tiny bit more. I don't really think it needs a whole lot more buttermilk. I think that would probably be good. Yep, I think that's going to be a good pliable dough to work with. So put it in the fridge for about 30 minutes. Then we'll work with it. Okay, so I got my dough out of the fridge. It's been marinating for about 30 minutes now. I'm going to put it onto parchment paper. And on this parchment paper, what I've done is I sprayed it so that maybe the dough will not stick as bad. This isn't going to make like a ton of apple pies. That was not my purpose on this. On this particular one, I'm testing it. I want to see what happens and how it turns out. I've never tried this before I've made breads and things like that. I've made biscuits and breads out of almond flour, coconut flour, oat flour, things like that. But I've never done this out of the to make apple pies with. So we're going to see what happens. Let's get my dough roller. And then let's roll it. And I imagine, I don't want to roll right, but maybe I need to get let me get another piece of parchment paper and put it on top. Put this into the middle more because I've got to get it flatter, or maybe I can just press it down with my hands. Let's see. Let's cut one out. And again, this is going to be a different texture than your regular biscuit dough. Like it feels different, but if it works out, it's only about 3 or 4 grams of sugar total, which is awesome for a diabetic or a pre-diabetic, anybody that is struggling with diabetes. So that's what my goal is. All right, so now we'll take some of the pie filling, and that looks really yummy. So it smells good, looks good, so hopefully it will taste good. Put some pie filling in it, and then I could do it this way, and then probably put a little bit more in it, and just make individual little pies. Let's see. So take a top one, press it out about the same width as the bottom. Put it over the top. And then smush it down and get the little, get it to form together here. All right. Wash my hands. Put this over onto my baking sheet here, but let's see, I want to probably use a spatula to try to do that with, because picking this up with my hands is probably going to make it fall apart. So hopefully, if I'm very careful, nope, I need a bigger spatula. And I do have, so let's see. Let's try the big spatula. Get it off here. And then over to our baking sheet. Oh my goodness. All right. Now, Lord willing, if this works out, it will be an apple pie. Just an individual see if we can get those edges a little bit crimped together better than what they were, because I don't want it to come apart in the oven. It's my main goal anyway. Crimp these little edges together. And then we'll start on another one, and hopefully they will turn out lovely. Okay, so let's go ahead and make another one, and we'll be back. Okay, 2 things. First, I'm going to put a little bit more of the all-natural sugar into this, and not a lot, just a little bit into the melted butter. And then probably about a little bit of cinnamon in it. And I'm going to brush this across the tops. These are done. They're ready to go into the oven. So put a little bit of cinnamon in there. Mix that up. It would be brown sugar and butter, but again, I'm not using brown sugar. I'm trying to do a little bit more of a sugar-free option. So that sugar doesn't seem to dissolve as well, but it'll be all right. Second thing, when working with this dough, always keep your hands moist. Not wet, but moist. Otherwise, the dough will stick to your hands. Brush this across the tops and it'll go in the oven. I don't know how long. We'll just have to wait and find out. Again, I've never done this recipe before, but my husband wants apple pies, and so that's why I'm trying this recipe. Anyway, we'll be back. I'll let you know what it turns out like. All right, it's out of the oven, and this is what it looks like. I need to cut one open and see what the inside looks like. Let's do that. Tara, come here.
I'm gonna stop this.
Alright, let's cut it open. See what the inside. Just gonna cut them. Hot, but looks so good. Alright. Okay, upon tasting this, it tastes just like a regular, my other apple pie does. Very, very yummy. And it's a sugar-friendly option. Not a sugar-free, but a sugar-friendly option. It's more low sugar. And so I think it ends up being like 3 or 4 grams of sugar per serving. So anyway, enjoy.